Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a good day today. It's kind of a iffy day today, kind of like what we had a couple months ago. Not a whole lot of volatility and no big moves, but we're gonna get these days. Every day is not gonna be a banner day or a home run potential day. So we got to work through these. So it was real after the morning. It was real quiet. And then if you were in chat, when I got back from picking my son up from school, we had some fun for about 10 or 15 minutes. It was pretty interesting after the close when some earnings were announced, and we were able to kind of salvage our day a little bit. So that was a lot of fun. We're gonna talk about that here in a minute. So most of you probably have shut it down and walked away, because that's what I probably would have done too. That's just how bad the day was. And I looked at these stocks the night before, some earning stocks, but I didn't follow up today because it just didn't seem like the market was going to give anything. But and you guys know me, that if X was my main watch, the market was really, really slow for me. Because this is one of my least favorite stocks to trade, because it's highly manipulated and it moves pretty, it moves crazy, and it's an iron or steel stock. Now, I don't like to trade metals. I don't trade gold, silver, copper. I just don't trade any of those stocks. But somehow I trade X, and it's been a love-hate relationship. But I think I'm hating more than I'm loving, because I'm probably red overall from all of the trades on this thing. But it had to be a really slow day for me to have this for my main watch. But the reason why I picked it was this was on my swing watch the week before for our 52-week breakout strategy, and it was setting up for that. And I'm like, well, if I can catch the day trade as it's going for the setup, I could, really bank on this and make some money on this over the next couple of days. So I was watching it, and I was actually looking to get it to the long side. I thought we were going to push up and test and potentially push through this 52-week high here. But when the market opened, it had a different feel for me. So you can see where we opened here, and the stock did make this huge run, a huge run up. And again, I'm like, man, the whole move is happening before I could even get in. So it started pulling back, and I'm like, look, I already said I got to be patient today. The market is really not where I want it to be. Let's just take our time and make sure that we do things the way we need to do it. So I waited. Here's the next 5-minute candle. It opens. It pushes up a little bit. Then it starts to sell off. I'm real glad I was patient on this, because typically, I'm long biased. I'm looking for this to go long. We broke. This is the 5-minute open range high all the way up here. But because this is about twice the size of the body, the wick is, I usually defer to the body. So technically I could have gotten in here to go long, but I said I was going to be a little bit more patient and wait for some confirmation. It wasn't looking good on the 2-minute. So I held on this, and I'm glad I did. We came down and broke through the 5-minute opening range low. Now, I didn't take this when it broke the opening range low, because the 100-day was sitting right here. And several times last week, the 100-day moving average messed me up. It stuffed some of my trades. So I waited till I was waiting until we got there and got below it. But the reason why this is a little bit late entry, because at the time this was setting up, I was talking in the swing trade room. By the time I looked back, I was about to miss this trade. So I ended up getting in. I wasn't going to let this go because I've been so patient waiting for the setup. And I could have gotten in half size and then added, but I didn't. I just got in full size and ended up covering here. My first target was going to be the 200, and my second target or ultimate target was going to be red to green. But we were starting to have trouble here between 30 and 35, 40. We were running into some issues, so I put a bid down here at 25. So that if we got a quick dip down there, I could get covered. And actually we had a even bigger dip. But I was happy with the 25. And then as we started to recover, I was watching the 2-minute as well, and it was confirming what I was seeing here. So I went ahead and took this off. Waited for the rejection, got back in again. We had another push up. But this time I only got in 300 shares. I was looking to add 300 on a rejection of the 100 and VWAP up here. We never did get it. This candle started to take off. I couldn't really get in, add to this like I wanted to. And I just let the trade play out. Covered some here once we got through the 200. I thought sure we were heading down to red to green, but this thing caught some bids and it started getting bought up. And once we got over the 200, I went ahead and took it off and just locked in this profit. So this was a beautiful morning. I was pleased with how I traded X, and I was pretty happy. I was pretty happy doing this. I had my chest stuck out. When I went to lunch, I was on cloud 9. So here comes the trade after lunch. I waited for it, went up and it rejected the 100-day like I wanted it to do over here. I wasn't going to get in because here's the VWAP, here's a 9, here's a 20, and then here's the 200. I'm like, this is all too close. I just need to wait until it gets out of this mess. Then I'll trade it. But here was a little bit quick entry. I was patient all through here, and I think my patience kind of ran thin. What I'm supposed to do is wait for this candle to close below the 200, wait for this candle to open, and make a lower low relative to this candle, and that's my trigger to entry. But I jumped the gun a little bit on this, anticipated. You can see we pulled back up. I should have been out up here, but I kind of waited to see if it was going to reject the 100-day because it was coming in. Not the 100-day, the 100 period. And it rejected it again. Here we pulled back through the 20. I thought I was in good shape. We couldn't lose the 200 again. And bam, we got this blowout candle that just stopped me out. And, that was that. And then at the end of the day, I'm sitting there waiting to get my son, and I'm watching this X because I'm looking for the late day fade on this. And, of course, I didn't want to take it here. And then finally I convinced myself to get it because I saw a lot of weakness in it, but just didn't get a good move on it. So only ended up with $50 profit in this X. I think I was up maybe a couple $100 here, gave it back here, and then this wasn't really nothing. It just didn't make the move that it needed to make. So I couldn't make anything on it. Now the exciting trade that happened after the market closed, as soon as I got back, we heard earnings go off, and this Nutri-Systems just tanked. It did just what I anticipated it was going to do. well, this was my thesis anyway last night when I was looking at everything. But like I said, I dismissed it. I didn't rush to get back to trade these earnings because, I just didn't think the market was going to give anything today. But we had this huge sell-off. And so now I'm looking for to long everybody taking profit. And it worked out for, I got the first move to 31. This was kind of my goal, around 34. We should have gotten it to at least 33 without hardly any issue. But we just couldn't get there. Couldn't get past 32. So I had to go ahead and take it off because we were turning around. We were coming back, losing some steam. So, this volume bar pretty much told the whole story on the buyers. But this was a nice hit to end the day with. This, we had an exciting, 10 or 15 minutes at the end of the day in chat. More excitement than we had all day. So, that was pretty cool. But this did exactly, I traded it exactly the way I would trade breaking news, or if I don't catch the front side of earnings, I know how to trade the backside. But we just didn't get the volatility. This is kind of how the market traded all day. Got a nice setup, but no volatility. We don't get a big move. We get a little move, you got to take the profit, and you just move on to the next. That's the way it was. So 526.85, we ended the day in the day trading account. Not bad for the type day we had. Not bad. So I'll take it. I'll take it any day. So the swing trades, this OLED, I was in this from Friday. It was an all-day hold Friday. And, the setup was still there for me to hold it over the weekend for a swing trade. See, this is descending resistance here. We ran up over it, but then we sold back off. We closed up under it. So today, I was looking for a move. And I got my first target, I guess, within the first 10, 15 minutes. Got down to 127.85. My final target was going to be 124.74. But it hit my first target. And then it stopped me back out at break even. Then I turned around and got back in because, I didn't want to be out. I want to play my trade out because I thought it was a solid setup, and we had some more selling to do. So you can see what happened here. This is covering half my position I held over the weekend. I think I held 500 overnight, and then we popped up. That's where it stopped me out at break even. Then I got back in, and really without thinking, because I got the sign that I got the alert that I got stopped out. So I just ran and jumped back in because I wanted it. I wanted this thing to sell off, and I didn't want to let a pop take me out. So I got back in, and you can see throughout the day it just worked its way up. But it's still, after the close, it's still in play. As long as we're under this, there's chance for it to roll over. And that's what I'm looking for. So I'm not giving up on this until the technical setup I'm trading is broken. Technically, we're still in a downtrend. Lower high, lower low. Just because the candle's green doesn't mean anything at this point. We've got to make a higher high, a higher low, or we got to close above this descending resistance here. So we'll keep holding it until that does what it needs to do. So again, I locked in some profit on this. It's not going to show on here because this is the profit I locked in minus where we are, after the close, once the bids and all that stuff got pulled. And we get these ridiculous, numbers here that don't tell the whole story, but don't tell the true story. This is what can drive you crazy too in swing trading. You could be green $400, $500, and then after the close, you come back 30 minutes later and you're down 4,000. It's just that, some of the orders got pulled and you're going to have these big gaps, big spreads. That's just what you have to deal with in swing trading. But 323.23 is what we got out of the swing trade. Remember, my first target hit, which should have given me, a pretty good chunk of change. It hit, but the rest of this just kind of got messed up with this Apple trade. This Apple trade is what kind of messed up some of that profit. I thought we were rolling over here. I wanted to catch this for the long, late day, all day hold, but it didn't work out. So, that one was the one that really, that stung in the swing trading account. But we're gonna keep, walking through this, working this. SCG is still in play. Even though we've got some recovery here, this company is in bad shape. They're talking about going bankrupt. The legislature here in South Carolina, is not happy with them. So I'm still holding it short. And unless we break this trend, and this is descending resistance here. If we break this, then I'll have to let it go and then kind of reset. But that's where I'm at on all my trades. So today 323.23 in the swing account, and then 526.85 in the day trading account. So not bad, almost $900. So for a day like today, I'll take it. So you guys have a great day, a great night, great evening, and I will see you first thing in the morning.